church here. They burned it down on a Sunday. It's a ground set. There's the canoe landing. Just follow her in the summer. Trailer park. A mini trailer park. We had a trailer burned down, double wide. They haven't rebuilt yet. And then up that hill is a cemetery, St. John's Cemetery. I guess it's creepy.
It is.
We need to stop that. Used to be an old schoolhouse, now it's apartments. Used to be a post office there too.
Yeah, on the back, I think.
And there's church number 1. This is where I was confirmed and baptized.
But they don't have it open anymore. Huh?
And there's church number 2. Where you used to mercy.
Mhm.
Oh God, it's nice.
And then you turn there, there's a park there.
Yeah, there's campers here.
Park there.
That's fine. Park number 1.
There's 3 parks in total.
Community garden. Park number 2. Used to go fishing down there.
That's a dirt bike trail over there.
Yeah, there's a trail.
I don't know what it is.
Park number 3.
With the baseball field I got tear down.
And then there's you can go camping down here. the bar at my friend's house. The bank. The bakery. It used to be a cafe. Yeah. All that flags in the way. What's that? What's in the way? There's the bakery. It used to be the cafe. And the little building is the city hall. We'll do the front when we get up there. FedEx! Okay, so you guys just got done looking at the video that we took of our town and how small it is. And I got this from the bank. It's Hammond history. Like, I'm reading this and I'm wondering where the hell did they put all this stuff? If the town is so small. Okay, let me read it. Hammond was founded on a ford of the Zumbro River. It was originally called Limes Ford, from the settler who owned the woodland north of there. In 1856, Joseph Hammond settled in the valley and built a house about 5 blocks from the vicinity of the bridge. He moved his family in a small stock of goods. This store continued as a business until the railroad came. And the railroad, as the way I understood it, was where the river is now. So underneath the bridge, there's the river, like where the canoeing landing is and stuff. In 1878, the CM and St. Paul Railroad was completed and opened for traffic. Its Wabasha office, a greenhouse warehouse was then built in Hammond. A blacksmith shop and a wooden bridge was completed. In 1879, Anton Kruger built a hotel on the east side of the river, and the William Martz built a hotel on the west side of the river. In October, Nicholas Boucher opened a store in the Kruger building. In 1879 to 1880, a large elevator was built, and a railroad office was established in the elevator. In the spring of 1880, Nicholas Butcher built his own store, which remained in the grocery store in Hammond until the 1990s. When the cafe was open, there used to be like a little grocery store in there. Like there was a couple shelves of stuff, but not a lot. Also in 1880, the first lumber company was built. That year also saw the new changes on the west side of the town, including Mr. Hammond's new store, a hardware store. The town was named Hammond in 1877, and in 1888, the flood took out the wooden bridge. A new steel structure was erected. Then the building of homes and businesses went on in earnest, with the little village boasting 3 grocery stores, 2 hardware stores, a creamery, 2 blacksmiths, 2 harness makers, 2 hotels known as the Hammond House and the West Hotel, of course. There were 3 saloons, a doctor, a dentist, a millinery shop, 2 barbers, and there were 3 saloons, a watchmaker. There were 3 saloons, a doctor, dentist, milliner shop, 2 barbers, a watchmaker, 2 garages, 2 meat markets, a cement block company, a sawmill, post office, 2 elevators, a lumber yard, railroad yard, and station, and a picture gallery, telephone exchange, shoemaker, 2 ice cream parlors, stockyard, 2 shipping agents, a billiard parlor, opera house, dance hall, and a movie theater. Carpet weaver, 2 brass bands known as the Little Brass Band with 11 tutors and the Boer Band with 40 tutors. I don't know if I'm saying that right. 2 cream buyers, a Standard Oil bulk station,
feed mill, dray line. What the heck is that? A livery stable, apiary, a section boss, who sometimes employed up to 20 men to work on the railroad at about $1.25 a day pay. A two-room school, wagon maker, and the last but not least, three churches, Lutheran, Catholic, and Methodist. Which is there's only two churches left now because they burned one on a Sunday, which is what my mom told me. Our post office was opened in 1879 and remained open for business until the early 1990s when it was merged with Denver Falls. Art Funk began his banking career in 1917, working in the Hammond State Bank, and after the two banks merged in 1924, he became owner and later named it the Security State Bank of Hammond. Mr. Funk remained the owner until 1993, when it was sold to Rochester Bank. Hammond was incorporated in 1900 with officers Butcher, Shawweller, Arnold, Firstnell, Eagles, Maldoon, Button, and Hidebuckle. Sorry, I'm still fighting this sickness, guys. When the railroad went out in 1934, it marked the demise of the thriving village. Without the train traffic, most business turned to Rochester. Nowadays, it is a sleepy little town on the river with 200 very content people. Children on bikes, canoes on the river, families enjoying the park, just what our founding fathers probably wanted us to have. The Hammond Creamery was started in 1887. The village was a complete waterworks, which was inaugurated in 1915. The electors voted 41 to 6 to bond the village for $4,000. They drilled a 200 feet well and an $85,000 gallon water tank was installed on a hill overlooking the village. Hammond incorporated in 1900. The first governing body consisted of Nicholas Butcher, Presidents Nicholas Schwaller, J.W. Arnold, Albert Firstnell as trustees, L.W. Ingalls, recorded M.J. Muldoon, treasurer, Dr. A.J. Button, justice of the peace, Herman Hidebuckle, constable and street commissioner. In conclusion, Hammond was a thriving little village of 200 inhabitants until the railroad was discontinued in 1934, at which time the automobile and trucks made it possible for the consumer to burn up 5 gallons of gas to save 2 cents on a loaf of bread and 25 cents on a pair of overalls at that time. The city of Rochester, because of its nearness to Hammond, was a handicap to its business operations, but today the pendulum is starting to swing the other way. Dwellings and businesses are springing up between here and Rochester, and we hope someday to be a part of the fastest growing city in Hammond. Respectfully submitted by, Respectfully submitted by Norton Elmeyer of Hammond on an accompanying tour in the event of Millville Village Centennial on the 15th day of August 1970. Mr. Byer and his wife, the former Lucy Barger, have been lifelong inhabitants of the village of Hammond. Nicholas Butcher built his store on its present site in 1879 and started business for himself. Previous to that time, he operated a store for Mr. Potter. Butcher's store was operated by the same family from 1879 until 1966, when it was sold to Mr. and Mrs. Larson. Edward and York opened his store on the west side of the river in 1881. In the flood of 1888, the past of the village west of the river was completely covered. The York store was flooded until the water was 4 feet above the main level. In 1898, the Hammond State Bank was incorporated with W.W. Churchill as the first bank cashier, who was followed by E.N. York. The Farmers State Bank was organized in 1915 with F.A. Hodge as the cashier. In 1919, A.S. Funk was hired as assistant cashier and a few years later became cashier. He was adequately taking care of the financial needs of a wide area from Tillman to Mazeppa, Lake City to Rochester, and continues to serve this area. When Mr. Funk became cashier, the bank had assets of $80,000. Today we have assets of $2 million. The principal streets were named First, Second, Bridge Street, Spring Street and Main Street. At this time, there was a good trout stream running through the Hammond from the west. The Hammond Post Office was established in 1879 and in the William Bars Hotel with William Bars as postmaker. So my question is, where the heck did they put all this stuff? I mean, that's a lot of stuff for a little town. When I was growing up, the apartment there used to be a post office at the apartment, which used to be the old school. Now it's an apartment building. We only have 2 churches here, 2 graveyards here, 3 parks, a bank, a bakery, a bar, and that's about it. So it's changed a lot. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Comment down below and let me know.